就同佢玩下。
Ha! Welcome to the show, guys.
That's right. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Hello On 2, your only English talk show. And you're with us, Zamil and Stephen, on this Thursday afternoon. We are just a few days shy from reaching some Hari Raya.
Shawwal.
Yes, Shawwal.
That's right.
Thinking Shawwal and Hari Raya, yeah. So, yeah.
Synonymous, right?
Yes.
But
just a few days away.
Shawwal, right? Yeah, so there you go, right? We hope you've already completed your shopping, or if you have not, but then again, still time. I noticed that it's a bit gloomy this time of the year, right?
Yes.
Shopping center is not so busy as it is supposed to be this same period last year.
Yeah.
The roads. So
Yes.
I don't know what's happening. And buka puasa, talking about buka puasa time.
Yep.
Usually, previous years restaurants are filled.
Very
with customers.
full, buzzing, right?
Yeah. But this time around, you can see that there are empty tables. So I wonder why. It could be related to the gloomy mood worldwide.
Exactly. Yes, especially when with regards to MH17, which happened exactly 1 week ago. Last week, same time, about last week in the evening, that's when we learned that the MH17 carrying 298 passengers, 44 of them were Malaysians. The flight was shot down and it basically crashed in the fields, open fields in Ukraine. And we are still trying to find out what is the latest updates in terms of getting information from the black boxes. What's going on with the black boxes right now, yeah?
Well, black box, apparently they're going to send it to UK for them to analyze the whole data from the black box itself. But what I'm surprised is that can't we do it, so that we don't need external help that will, So it's just a voice recorder and some data flight flight data recorder. So let's access it ourselves, man.
Yeah. Out of the 298 people who perished from the flight, about 282 bodies have been retrieved from the crash site. And as you can see on the screen, this is where the two planes carrying the first bodies from Malaysia Airlines MH17 that was shot down over Ukraine last week arrived in the Netherlands on Wednesday. And the Dutch Army C-130 and an Australian military C-7 flew about 40 bodies at first to Eindhoven airport in the south of Holland, where they were met by bereaved relatives, including Prime Minister Mark Rutte and the King Willem-Alexander.
That's right. As you can see for yourself, you can see those are the different styles in the various countries managing this crisis. Apparently, the Netherlands preferred to go for the objective of overcoming the sorrow and love and preserving the privacy of the victims, compared to other countries which expresses anger and finger pointing and blame and all that.
And also yesterday another tragedy has happened. This time it's in Taiwan. Their Trans-Asia Airways that crashed also, about 40 that affected about 48 people that were killed, and 10 actually survived. So there were 58 people, 48 people were killed when one of the turboprop passenger planes crashed after an aborted landing during stormy weather. So it's flight GE 222 was carrying 54 passengers and 4 crew members on a domestic flight when it crashed on Wednesday local time at Magong on the Penghu Island chain, and clarifying conflicting death tolls given by the officials previously. So 2 French medical students were among the dead, and the aircraft, the ATR 72-500, was flying from the southwestern city of Kaohsiung to the islands of the west coast, and had been delayed by bad weather as Typhoon Matmo pounded Taiwan.
That's right, Typhoon Matmo.
They were affected by the typhoon.
The death toll I got received is 47 bodies, 47, and miraculously there are some survivors that's still in hospital right now. So that's about the Taiwan crash.
That's right.
So tragedies happening all around the world, right? Apparently they operate about a fleet of 28 turboprop planes.
That's right.
And they have a record of tragedies as well. I think a total of 6 of them since 2002. So which airline is not without a glitch, right?
Despite of what has happened, I think a lot of people still have the events in their lives must go on, especially when it comes to the Commonwealth Games, which actually had opened. The 20th edition of the Commonwealth Games was officially opened in a spectacular event at the Celtic Park on Wednesday, local time, yesterday. The crowd swarmed the Celtic Stadium as early as 5 p.m. local time. As you can see there, Glasgow 2014, Queen Elizabeth II officially opened the games and read out a message that had been secretly kept inside the Queen's baton, which had paraded around 70 Commonwealth nations for the past 9 months. And the Queen, in her speech, called on those present to unite in difficult times as my minute of silence was observed for the victims of the Malaysia Airlines MH17.
That's right. A moment of silence was also observed in yesterday's Parliament special sitting, where all the very, very rare show of unity between the opposition members of the Parliament as well as the government members of the Parliament, where all of them actually united against condemning the atrocities that's happened in Ukraine, eastern Ukraine, the murder. So I guess this is where the whole world unites against such mass misfortune.
Today's topic, we are talking about live updates from Kiev. We hope to have a special call out to our official correspondent who is in Kiev in Ukraine at the moment to give us the latest updates with MH17, especially in terms of retrieval of the bodies, the remains, and also what happened with the information from the black boxes. And at the same time, we're also talking about the world at war.
That's right. We might not know it, but indirectly the war has begun, right? Some say World War III, but let's not get that far. But of course, troubles in Gaza, trouble in eastern Ukraine, and of course other things as well that's happening all around in Syria. So the world at war, we have our very own, of course, general who's going to be right here talking to us.
Yes.
And finally, to lighten your mood a little.
Since Hari Raya is just around the corner, we are rounding up the hour by inviting one of our special celebrities, maybe to give her thoughts on what is happening in and around the world, and also trying to find out from her side, what she has been doing in terms of her career, as well as her Hari Raya preparations.
That's right. The her we've been talking about is Lisa Surihani.
She'll be in the studios really soon. So stay tuned for that throughout this whole 1 hour until 2 p.m. You're with us, Zamil and Stephen, accompanying you for the day. So we're going to take a short break.
We'll be back and we'll try to hide our excitement over Lisa Surihani for next hour.
We'll see you soon after the break.
La la la. Saudara serta saudari, setahun hanya sekali merayakan hari yang mulia ini. Di masa bulan Ramadan, kita berpuasa hingga sebulan. Apabila Syawal menjelma, hari raya disambut dengan gembira. Miskin kaya memakai baju baru warna-warni, mengunjungi sana kaum family. Sungguh hebat pemandangan pertama. Mak nak kuih? Kuih sepotong. Saya mahu makan kerana perut kosong. La la la. La 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 la. Maafkanlah jika ada terlanjur perkataan. Diharap supaya jangan disimpan. Ku berdoa semoga panjang umur, murah rezeki. Semoga Tuhan akan memberkati.
Selamat Hari Raya, hari untuk kita bersukaria. Selamat kami ucapkan
Untuk kita hingga sampai tahun depan. Selamat Hari Raya.
Hello, hi, we are back. This is Hari Raya Balik Kampung Driving Safety Tips. Today's segment, we're going to talk about planning your drive as the driver. Point number one is timing. Plan your timing. You don't have to go back at 3 in the afternoon. You don't have to go back at 10 in the morning. Sometimes people do drive at 12 at night. It's not necessarily more dangerous if there's going to be less cars on the road than actually going back at a time where there's going to be less cars at middle of the night. Might be actually safer for you and your family. Point number two, plan your routes. Which road are you going to take, right? The best is, of course, to stick to the plus highways. The less that you can travel on the federal roads, the better. Accident statistics are always going to be higher on the federal roads compared to plus highways. Something like 60% on federal roads and only about 20% on the plus highway. So driving on the highway is always a smarter choice. Go as close as you can to your kampung before you get off the highway and take the federal road. Point number three, plan where you're going to take your R&R breaks. Okay, this might be the most simple thing, but when you think about it, some of the R&R rest and relax stops are very, very busy. For example, Tapa up north is very busy. People love, there's some famous food there. But what that means is going to be spillover on the parking. People are parking on the side of the highway, and can you imagine you parked on the side of the highway on the emergency lane outside of the R&R and your children trying to exit the car to go into the toilet break? That's not a good idea. So plan where you're going to stop for your toilet breaks. For example, instead of stopping at Tapa, plan that you stop the one before that, Bido. Inform your children and your family. We're going to stop earlier. Anyone who needs to take a toilet break, take it now, because we're not going to stop at Tapa because Tapa is going to be too dangerous. Okay, so that's enough for today. We'll see you again at the next segment for more tips.
This is our first event we did during the last 10 years. We have not done this program. So I believe with the contribution, a little bit of contribution to the Sekolah Tafin and also the Anak Yatim. So perhaps this is part of our CSR program. We would like all these kids basically to enjoy the Ramadan as well as Hari Raya Aidilfitri. So basically we had planned a month ago before the month of Ramadan, and we have this our corporate communication, Cik Suhaila. So we believe that this Rumah Anak Yatim and Tahfiz will be the perfect place, or will be the perfect place for us to get them together. The previous CSR that we did is basically we went to some of the in Thailand, where we give some contribution to all the students and also kids in Thailand. But we believe that we also should look after our community in Malaysia. So that's why we plan to do it for our Malaysian kids, basically. Yeah.
Yes, folks, welcome back. And of course, as promised, right, we're going to be updating you a little bit about what's happening with the MH17 crisis.
Yes, we have our correspondent who is in Ukraine at
That's
the
right.
moment, Mr. Muhammad Yunus Muhammad Noor, who I believe is on the line with us at the moment. Yeah. Good afternoon, Mr. Muhammad Yunus.
Good afternoon.
Hi. Right. Could you tell us, give us any official updates on MH17?
Okay, thank you. The scanning and checking process for the body from Malaysia Airlines, MH17 victim is expected to be completed tomorrow. National Security Council MKS Principal Assistant Secretary, Lieutenant Colonel Muhammad Nasri Hussein told us that out of 4 couches containing 282 bodies, more than 2.5 of the couches containing the bodies have been taken out for the process yesterday. So there were 4 refrigerated couches containing the bodies that arrived 2 days ago. And yesterday, our SMART and forensic team, together with Netherlands and Australia teams, had cleared 2.5 of the couches. So he said that the remaining of the bodies will be taken out today for the process and tomorrow. So today, a total of 56 bodies were flown to Netherlands yesterday for investigating identification.
So, of course, DNA tagging is also being done right now, right? When do you expect that they will complete all that profiling?
Okay, so far the DNA test is only they only do a preliminary test DNA because the full DNA case will be held in Amsterdam. So far the preliminary is only involved with half of the percentage that they have been taken up from the screen.
I see. Well, okay, thank you so much for your time, Mr. Muhammad Yunus, and also we hope to get more updates from you soon. Thank you so much, and have a good day. Right. Okay, so that's basically the updates from Ukraine at the moment. Soon, right after the break, we are going to talk about the world at war.
That's right, the world at war. It's already begun, right?
Yeah.
Of course, none other than our general is going to be here to talk about that very soon, right? And of course, talking about the bodies, right? We are also considering the fact that we might just have a special burial site for Muslim victims of the tragedy of MH17. So that might materialize soon. They have not decided on that issue just yet, but we will keep you up to date with that.
But I think a lot of Malaysian families out there are going to be disappointed, especially those who are expecting for the remains or the bodies of the passengers to return before Hari Raya Aidilfitri, because at the moment with the ongoing investigation and they are still trying to find out the other remains of the bodies and all that, they say it's going to take months in terms of not only finding the remains but also the identification process.
Profiling it. And what's more complicated is the severed body parts.
Exactly. Yes. Okay, so we're going to take a really short break, and by the time we come back, we're going to talk about the world at war. So don't go away. We'll be back really soon.
Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen Ar-Rahmanir Rahim Maliki Yawmiddin إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين.
Kopi secara semulanya berasid. Tapi, kopiku LA Coffee memang sesuai untuk saya. Terutamanya ketika bersahur. Ia satu-satunya kopi keluarga saya.
Aroma istimewa, rasanya pun enak.
Sesuai untuk kami dan ia halal.
Untuk berbuka puasa, Kopiko LA Coffee Ice memang sedap.
Saya pula suka kopi LA Coffee yang panas.
Selamat berbuka puasa bersama kopi yang sesuai dengan anda.
Jangan membeli mengikut nafsu. Rancang perbelanjaan anda. Jadilah pengguna bijak. Pengguna bijak, faedahnya banyak. Pesanan daripada Kementerian Perdagangan Dalam Negeri, Koperasi dan Kepenggunaan.
Sakit sendi, sakit otot? Gunalah minyak angin hijau Cap La yang menyegarkan dengan aroma yang harum. Cap La, kelegaan segera untuk kesakitan badan yang ringan.
Welcome back. If you're just tuning in, you are watching us, Zamil and Stephen, on this Thursday afternoon. And right now we are talking about the world at war, especially when it involves a lot of countries at the moment.
Exactly, and so much unrest in the world. So, yes, the best person to be talking about this whole issue is, of course, the trustee of Perdana Global Peace Foundation, as well as our very own retired general. So it gives us great pleasure to introduce our guest for today, retired General Tan Sri Datuk Sri Panglima Muhammad Azami. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, Tan Sri.
Thank you for your time.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there are two-pronged issues that we're talking about here. One is about MH17 and how it's affecting the world, and also the crisis in Gaza, right? So let's focus on MH17 first. You know, the Malaysia, we now have possession of the black box, but as you had said earlier, it's going to be moved or
to UK,
to the UK
for them to actually decipher this whole. So what do you think they, at first, where the self-proclaimed Donetsk People's Republic, the leader actually was reluctant to give us the black box, but why do you think they changed their mind?
Yeah.
Well, it's very simple indeed. I think when Alexander Borodai, the self-declared rebel leader, got a call from our Prime Minister, he must have seen from a human perspective, he must have seen the requirement for our Prime Minister calling him so. This is simply because here you have the Prime Minister of a country whose national carrier was involved, whose nationals were involved, calling you and making a request, very simple request, that to hand over the black boxes, to provide some form of dignity and respect to the remains, and to allow international investigation, the international investigation team, free access without hindrance. This is a call that came from the Prime Minister of a nation that has no interest at all in what is going on in that part of the world.
And taking no sides.
Yeah, and we were not taking any sides at all. And we have never made any remarks or comments or accusations or pointed our fingers at any party that's involved in the conflict.
True.
And above all, this is a call that has come from a Prime Minister who believes in engagement, who believes in engaging with someone who is in authority, someone who has the power to consider the request by our Prime Minister.
Yeah.
So to me, all credit must go to the Prime Minister because something that struck me most is when the Prime Minister said that sometimes we have to work in the quiet, in the service of a better outcome.
That's right.
Quote unquote. And I think this is a legacy that most of all can undertake too. And the other thing which I wish to add is when the call came, I believe, Alexander Borodai must have thought to himself, to what benefit would he have if he were to keep possession of the black box? Because remember that keeping the black box is a crime itself.
Yeah, true.
So I think considering all these factors, there was a change in heart, there was a change in mind to hand over those black boxes and to hand over the black box and also to have the remains moved to a secured area in Ukraine and also to allow free and unhindered access to the international investigation team.
That's right. It is clear so far that MH17 was a victim of circumstance. They happened to be, they said that they happened to be at the wrong place at the wrong time. But what is your take on this so far from what, the stories that you have received?
Well, let me make this clear that the flight was on an innocent passage.
Correct.
Yes.
Safe flight, safe path.
Route, route.
And the the route, it was cleared by the local authorities, meaning the Ukrainian authorities. And under the ICAO convention, the local authorities are responsible for the flight path, the height, and
correct,
all the clearance.
Yes.
So it was an innocent passage. And with regards to international conventions, that aircraft under the Chicago Convention, it is clearly stated that civil aircrafts are not military targets.
Yes.
Civil aircrafts are not military targets, and contracting states to the convention, they have an obligation to make sure that civil aircrafts are spared from any military actions. Like shooting down.
Correct.
It is a crime to shoot down civil aircrafts.
I see. So, isn't this like mass murder in the sky? And what can be done about this if it is?
Well, it is not only mass murder. It is a crime.
Yes.
Committed against humanity. And in response to what can be done is, if you look at the Security Council resolution, the Security Council resolution came in very hard on one is those responsible should be accounted to. That's number one. Number two is it also came down very hard in calling on all parties to extend their cooperation towards the achieving of that accountability. So in this case, I believe on completion of the investigation by ICAO or the International Investigation Team, I believe that the Security Council can endorse whatever the conclusions of findings by this international team.
Well, speaking about our Malaysian team, apparently they are still in limbo over assessing the crash site. Although Alexander Baroda had agreed a safe passage for them, what else can be done, so that the Malaysian team could actually have proper access and actually try to make a good identification of the bodies?
Last night I was browsing through this international media, and I came across a report which says that they are now allowed freedom of maneuver within the confinement of the crash site.
Okay.
So if at all there is still some restrictions, then I feel it is incumbent upon countries, not only countries, incumbent upon the Security Council to exert some pressure, because bearing in mind also that Russia did not veto the Security Council resolution. So I believe that if at all there is still some restrictions, I believe and I think that Russia can play their part to exert some influence on to ensure a further easing of restrictions.
I see. Now, General, what do you expect in the next, say, 2 weeks? More finger pointing.
Especially when identification of the bodies have resumed, as well as getting more information from the black box.
Definitely, there was going to be a lot of finger pointings. That will continue. All of us we are exposed to what the international media carries. There's report of certain states having evidence against the perpetrators. So I think that will continue. But the best bet would be to allow the international investigation team to proceed with their work in the interest of humanity, and also in the interest of the conclusion of it, which can allow it to be a lesson to future perpetrators who may think that it's that easy to take a shot at a civil aircraft.
That's right.
On an innocent passage.
That's right. Because they also, it's also, like you said, it's a crime and in violation of international laws.
Yes.
Okay, moving on to the next crisis at hand, which is in Gaza. Malaysians have, I think, a lot of keyboard warriors out there also trying to give their say on the websites or on the Facebook social media platform, telling us, giving us information and also telling us what to do and all that, in terms of what were the ways, boycotting lah, and all that, right?
Donations sending
and all that,
aid.
but we can do so much in terms of funding, giving our funds through the Malaysian NGOs in support and in aid of the Gaza. What do you think that we are doing enough for now? Or is there any other ways that we can do to further improve the situation?
Actually, to further improve the situation, from a humanitarian perspective, we are doing what is expected out of humanity. We have expressed our sympathy. We have supported the resolutions at the United Nations. We have, besides raising funds, we have organized humanitarian assistance, and we have called on all parties involved to exercise restraint. But over and above that, I believe that what can be done by the international community is to ensure that there is a comprehensive and enduring ceasefire. Comprehensive and enduring ceasefire. Now you heard Hamas has said that they will not agree to a ceasefire until and unless the blockade is lifted. Okay?
Restrictions.
Now what's happening in Gaza today is totally unacceptable. Life there seems meaningless at all. Meaningless. So this is where I would urge the international community, coming from the Perdana Global Peace Foundation perspective, we will urge them to give the Palestinians in Gaza some hope. As human beings, they deserve infrastructure development, they deserve education, they deserve health, they deserve well-being, they deserve comfort.
Yep.
And the best bet that we feel would be for all parties involved in the conflict, including the international community, is to fall back on the 2012 ceasefire agreement between the Palestinians and Israelis.
I see.
But what is said today is, despite of the fact that the UNSG has called for a real look into the root cause of the problem, but the response that we are getting from the Israeli leader is that Israel will do what it can to defend itself, quote unquote.
That's all that.
So if that is the attitude, then I do not see peace in sight.
Exactly. But General, very briefly, right, because as we can see that there's been reports the US Secretary of State has been flying back and forth trying to get a ceasefire deal going on and all that. But what we've seen so far in the 17 days of fighting is nothing much. It's really progressing. So what would be the definitive permanent solution for Gaza? Best
Ideal
outcome?
solution,
Well, to me, the ideal is to fall back to the 2012 2012 ceasefire agreement. The Israelis agreed to that. The Palestinians agreed to that. What is so difficult in meeting, in lifting the restrictions on the movement of the Palestinians in Gaza? Even the UNSG also called for that to be considered. You know, I mean, if you look, what's happening today is even the Human Rights Council of the United Nations is now calling for an inquiry into what is likely to have been committed, that's termed as war crimes by the Israelis. I mean, how can you shoot at, you know, places of worships, the mosque? This is all in the Geneva Convention. How can you shoot at the hospitals?
Schools,
It's crazy. You know. So to me, sanity must exist in a period of insanity now.
Humanity as well. Your final words, General, especially to the viewers out there, what advice would you like to give to them, especially in light of the upcoming Hari Raya celebrations?
Well, in the light of these coming Hari Raya celebrations, my word of advice is to all Malaysians is, let's share this occasion as we have been in the past. Let's consider ourselves to be privileged, to be fortunate that the peace and security and tranquility that we enjoy today is as a result of the commitment of our present leadership and our founding fathers. So we have to continue to preserve that unity in the interest of Malaysia.
There you go, right? And thank you very much. It's our beloved and learned retired General Tan Sri Dato Sri Panglima Muhammad Azumi. Thank you. Which is also a trustee for the Perdana Global Peace Foundation.
That's right.
And of course, we would like you to, show your support. Visit their website www.perdana4peace.org.
Right.
Give your support in whatever ways you can.
We're going to take a really short break, and coming right up after the break, we're going to talk to a local celebrity. If you want to find out more from our celebrity, Lisa Sorihani, stay tuned. Don't go away.
The application we attract to different marketing activities, but also just explaining what we do. If we explain what we do, you'll have customers ordering. So really, demand depends also from the period. So for example, right now with the Bazaar Ramadan, we're having so many orders from the bazaars that we actually offer. But also later, let's say during the day around 10 p.m. we receive 7-Eleven orders. So it really depends also the period of the day, the period of the time. But we see, let's say with the TGI Fridays growing very fast in terms of orders, and also Wendy's with the burgers is really growing a lot in terms of demand. There are many differences. I think more the customers that use the website are kind of different from the ones using the phone. So using the smartphone are younger category, younger customers, while who use the website is more offices and older customers.
I think what is special is that we cater to all, not just high-end food. We also have fast food as well, like AMW, Wendy's, all right up to expensive food. We don't mark up the price of the food, so what you see in the restaurant is what you get. So it's a very good proposition for customers. We help you save time and we help you save money. You don't have to pay for petrol and pay for parking and stuff. We actually do all the legwork for you and get the food delivered directly to you. I think the mobile application is simple because it's mobile. You bring it along wherever with you. The one on the site is if let's say you're stuck, you're like in your office, you want to order for your colleagues, then having it on the site will be much better. But if let's say you're on the run, you are halfway stuck in the jam, you can just use the mobile app to order and food will be delivered to you in an hour.
Okay folks, looking at these dishes are making me drool, so to avoid that, I'm going to tell you guys a little bit what are the dishes that they served on the table here. First, in front of me here, we have lamb stew with fish rendang, and then we have the fish rendang itself, and then we have lamb stew with grilled dory. So I can't tell them apart what are the difference of each and individual dishes here. That's why I have right now with me is the manager of the Manhattan Fish Market, Miss Royce. Good evening, Miss.
Hi, good evening.
So could you tell us a little bit, what are the specialty of this job?
Okay, Manhattan Fish Market is a casual Western seafood dining restaurant. Our products are prepared using fresh ingredients and always serve food to our customer. This one is a fish rendang. It's a new in town. Which is other competitor is not come up with the lamb. Okay, it's a different of fish. Grilled dory is a dory fish. Rendang we use a red fish. This one special because this one is we use rendang paste. This one just the normal spice.
You've seen how she's been saying about the food here. It's very good. Even I haven't tried it. I can tell that it's very scrumptious. It's very delicious. So don't forget to drop by here at Manhattan Fish Market if you feel like you want to have more fish for your dish. Bye.
Welcome back. If you're just tuning in, you're watching us, Zamil and Stephen. And right now, we are going to find out more from our local celebrities. One of which is, she has, I think, the biggest followers
That's right.
for Facebook and I think Instagram right now, right?
Even
600K.
Yeah.
Oh my.
600K,
I don't keep
Yeah.
track. I don't keep track at all.
Even my 6-year-old niece is excited about her.
Oh, really?
Exactly.
Oh, so sweet.
Lisa Suryani in the
Hi,
house.
hello, hello.
Mm.
Good afternoon.
So how's Ramadan so far?
Ramadan, Alhamdulillah. You know, I got off work, as in like I don't do any shoots for the month, this month. It was a conscious decision because usually every year I would be filming something or shooting something, but this year I just wanted to focus more on, you know, doing more personal activities, rekindling the relationship with God, you know, like doing more, you know, spiritual practices and things like that. I mean, you know, I try, we try. We try. And doing it with the family means a lot as well.
That's right. Closer to God and your husband. Spend more time with him, lah, right? Rather than working.
Yeah, he's been actually more busy than I am actually.
I see.
Yeah,
So
but
he's
then,
been neglecting you.
Ayo, don't say like that, lah.
Batu api.
No.
You want a piece, huh?
But Ramadan, yeah, it's been alright. It's just that I think, you know, I think we can all somewhat agree it's been quite somber lately, especially with, you know, all this recent news that we've been reading and you know, hearing and being exposed to. So I suppose, you know, like in our preparation for Raya, I suppose, you know, we kind of feel that, like, you know, like how Tan Sri was mentioning before, you know, like, you know, as much as how we should treasure our loved ones, you know, appreciate what we have around us. At the same time, I think maybe be mindful and thoughtful for those who are unable to celebrate as well as we can, especially where MH17 and MH370 is concerned.
Yes.
And our, you know, just being human about it, those in Gaza as well.
Yes.
Yeah, that's just, tragic. Yeah.
Yeah.
According to normal conventions, you know, as we age, we get not as good looking, you know. But tell us, what's your secret? You know?
What's my secret?
We're not saying that you are, you know, aging or anything like that. But you know, what's your secret? You've been around the industry for quite some time, but what we are seeing right now is you're looking better and better.
Yeah.
And healthier.
Ageless as well.
Exactly.
Alamak, you guys. Actually, I in this just a few months ago, I started a collaboration with the Body Shop. They have called me on board to be the spokesperson. It's exciting for me because we've always been, you know, exposed to Body Shop. We've always known about Body Shop. You know, so of course you know, like your girlfriends or, you know, your sisters or something would probably use something from Body Shop.
Yep.
And I represent for a facial care range called Moisture White Shisho, which is right here. I know, you must be wondering what's Shiso, right?
Yeah, Shiso.
Shiso is like a leaf from a tree from Japan.
Right.
So the function of shiso is to suppress melanin. So what's melanin in our skin? It's what activates, like you know, dull or pigmentation and all that. Just as we grow older, that's what we tend to face, right?
Exposure to the sun.
And all that. So this is to suppress the melanin, and it's not so much like this is to make you white. No, it's just to, you know, make your skin brighter
and clearer.
And clearer. Yes.
Yeah. So aside from the beauty regime, what else do you do to keep yourself healthy, especially during this fasting month?
Oh, I see.
We know because by next week Monday you'll be gorging everything inside, right?
Secrets out.
And you are a big muncher, I know.
How did you know?
I have been stalking her.
No, I think I kind of admit it as well.
Yes,
you know?
you did.
So embarrassing. Oh dear. Okay. For me, is it every day regardless? I wash my face in the morning as well as at night. You know, at night you have to use the night cream so that it works while you're asleep. That one you must do. Yeah. What you consume, what you drink is important as well. You got to consume the right things, you know. You got to consume healthy things. You got to drink lots of water, veggies, and all that. All this is all pretty much like 101, you know, like nothing to, like, it's not rocket science, you know, in figuring that out. But I think it's just the consistency and the discipline in applying and, you know, keeping up to it. Aside from that, I think rest is also very, very important. Apparently, they say it's best to sleep before 12.
Although it's kind of hard, you know, especially in the work that I do. You know, we have our late hours for work and all that jazz. But, but you know, enough rest, enough sleep is very, very important. And I think it's also how you look at things that is also very much important. You know, the psyche, the what we think psychologically, mentally. Always. You know, eliminating whatever, you know, nonsensical feelings in yourself.
That's right.
All the negative things.
And also don't be a keyboard warrior on social network.
That's just
don't encourage that sort of thing in yourself. You know, like don't let that harbor in yourself. Because like I think that projects actually whatever it is that you think or feel on the inside.
Comes
projects
out.
on the outside.
Your Raya preparations, especially you know with hubby in line and also you know with your family. I mean, you have your own family and husband's family to take care of.
Well, you see, both Yusri and I, we are very family oriented. We're both very like, you know, like we are one.
Yes.
We are one family. So that's all sorted. Very very easy. Raya preparations is very.
Stop it, Stephen.
But proceed.
But Raya preparations for us is very, very simple. It's just the bajus, you know, the baju Raya that I get sorted, and I sort out everything where the baju is concerned, because Yusri is like, okay, you sort that out. You know, I'll leave it all to you, and I'm like, yes.
So he's your Barbie doll.
So he sorts out the baju.
No, I do.
Oh, you do. Okay,
I do, and I'm very, very thankful that he lets me sort it out, because I'm very hands-on when it comes to the sorting.
Give you some pink pants.
2 years ago it was already pink. So
that's good.
But dusty pink lah, giving chan like gotta be macho in pink, right?
Throw some grey in there, the pink. So what about your career? You know, we have seen you hosting and also acting. What about singing? Are you going to be a triple threat?
No. Well, when Yusri and I released that single out, it was just for. It was just for him, I think. Okay. I think it is just for him. Or rather, like, you know, when he was trying to convince me to do it, I said no till the point I got tired of saying no. And finally said yes, but provided that it's a duet.
All right.
With him.
So you just did it just for fun lah.
Yeah, it's just for fun.
You don't plan to pursue because...
Not as a career, no.
Yeah, the well-known singer-composer Hazami says that you can sing really well.
I miss him. Oh my God, I hope he's well.
Yes.
Oh my God.
He told me that you can sing really, really well.
Oh dear, he's way too kind.
So you're not trying to pursue that or just concentrate on
acting? No.
first?
I enjoy it as a fun thing, you know, like just, you know, nothing too serious, you know.
He's just asking because he's concerned. He is trying to, you know, rocket himself up in the singing career. Azami is writing for him.
Oh, wow.
Anyway.
You have to be announcing down hot soon.
No. We're not giving anything away at the moment.
No, not at the moment.
Before we let you go, your Hari Raya wishes to the viewers out there.
Okay, hi. I always miss the wrong camera. I just keep wishing on this side, and it's actually on this side. So sorry. Okay, hi, I'm Lisa Surihani. On behalf of Yusri as well, I'd like to wish Salam Aidil Fitri, Maaf Zahir dan Batin. As much as how we celebrate and cherish our loved ones, you know, I think, you know, I think we should be mindful and thoughtful for the families and friends of MH17 as well as MH370. And for those in Gaza, pretty much everywhere there's actually being faced violence and oppression. Not to say that we should be absolutely depressed. I just think that we should be mindful and thoughtful about it. And also, of course, I think as a spokesperson from the Body Shop, it is important to look good, it is important to feel good, and it is also important to do good. And you can do that with the Body Shop with Moisturized Shiso.
Wonderful, well said. Thank you so much,
Thank
Lisa.
you.
Thank you. And speaking of Body Shop, we are also having some hot giveaways. All you have to do is just stay tuned and take a look at the questions that we have here on the screen.
Hello folks, Hot Giveaway is back. All you have to do is to answer the questions given and then log on to the Hot Facebook, like our Facebook, and send in your full name, IC number, and contact details. Remember, We will only take winners on first come, first served basis. So make sure you look out for the questions, answer them correctly, and send in all your details. Happy winning!
Hey, it's a beautiful Thursday, and here's some sports highlights for you. The Olympic Council of Malaysia and the National Sports Council are sending 179 athletes to the Commonwealth Games in Glasgow 2014. Throughout Malaysia's participation in the Commonwealth Games, the national contingent had won 2 gold medals in Victoria, Canada in 1994, 10 golds in Kuala Lumpur in 98, 7 gold in Manchester, England in 2002, and Melbourne, Australia in 2006, and the best was 12 golds in New Delhi in India 2010. According to our chef de mission, Dato' Ong Po Eng, the absence of world number 1 shuttler Dato' Lee Chong Wei, who has been a regular contributor to gold medals in the Games, will not weaken the Malaysian contingent. On another note, Malaysian athletes and officials at the Games will wear black armbands at the opening ceremony in memory of the victims of Flight MH17. Their flag at the Athletes Village was raised only at half-mast on Tuesday. The Commonwealth organisers will be using Glasgow's opening ceremony as a UNICEF fundraiser. Moving along, Formula 1. Nico Rosberg gave Germany another win to celebrate after their World Cup success with a home Grand Prix triumph for Mercedes on Sunday. But there seems to be some trouble in the paddock. Red Bull and Ferrari considering protesting Mercedes after the team switched their brand of brake discs without penalty before the start of Sunday's Grand Prix. Hamilton crashed heavily in qualifying after a front brake disc failure, and he raced with a different brand while Nico Rosberg changed the rear disc of his car. Finland's Valtteri Bottas took second place for the Williams, and his third podium finish in a row after Brazilian teammate Felipe Massa crashed out at the start that brought out a safety car. Mercedes have won 9 out of 10 races so far, with champions Red Bull winning the other. Nico Rosberg has 190 points, Hamilton 176, with Australian Daniel Ricciardo on third with 106. And finally, some item on football, the summer transfers, of course. Borussia Dortmund boss Jurgen Klopp has told Manchester United to forget about signing defender Matt Hummels for £16 million. Hummels is happy at Borussia Dortmund, so nothing much is happening there. Arsenal wants either Chris Smalling or fellow Manchester United defender Phil Jones as part of a deal which will take 28-year-old centre-back Thomas Vermaelen the other way. Manchester United manager Louis van Gaal is preparing to offer Ajax £70 million for 24-year-old Netherlands defensive midfielder Daley Blind. With their Champions League foreign players quota in mind, Manchester City, on the other hand, are set to offload midfielder Javi Garcia after striker Alvaro Negredo broke his foot. And TalkSport PSG will sidestep FIFA's financial fair play rules by offering 26-year-old winger Angel Di Maria a target for Manchester United, a 1-year loan move from Real Madrid.
Yep, so we hope you had paid attention, and be sure to give the correct answer on facebook.com/helloon2, and you stand to have a chance to win the hot giveaways from us. Yeah, courtesy of Body Shop.
Some shiso stuff.
Okay.
I like that word.
Yeah. And if we don't get to see you since Monday, Hello On 2 is on Mondays to Thursdays, and tomorrow we will not be on air. We will be on air on next week, first day of Raya on Monday.
That's right. The Hari Raya edition of Hello On 2, that's going to be exciting, something to look forward to.
That's right.
All of us are going to be here.
Exactly. Zamil and Steven signing off, and we wish you a pleasant day ahead. Have a good weekend and drive safely.
That's right.
Genap sudah sebulan berpuasa, hari raya. Mari ramai-ramai kita gembira di hari raya. Kita saling memaaf-maafan, hari raya. Mari ramai-ramai jemput ke rumah. Sesudah sebulan kita berpuasa,